welcome back to another DRK video. We gotta talk. I think some people need to understand that the Nintendo audience is not who it used to be. Their image has always been based off primarily the types of first-party games that they release, right? Which is fair. But over the past couple of generations, they've been finding new ways outside of just the first-party titles to adapt and include more core gamers that are in higher age demographics. And that's not just by having more mature games. It's been more about shifting a lot of the focus towards the appeal of their handheld in order to reel people back in. They tried dropping third-party mature rated games on the Wii U. Right, I played a lot of them, a lot of Black Ops 2, a lot of Ghost on that system. I spent hundreds of hours between those two games. But the problem was that the Wii U had to share a lot of its first-party development time and release schedule with the 3DS, which was bad enough, honestly. But on top of that fact, honestly, the Wii U really was just another home console device that sat underneath your TV, not doing that much different from the competition. They had the screen on the controller, which was nice, being able to walk around your house, but not being able to take it outside, not being able to go too far. You know, those were huge limitations that really kept you tethered to the machine and to the TV, right? Because they still had games like Assassin's Creed 3, Batman, Splinter Cell, Call of Duty. They just didn't have a lot of appeal on that platform if you had something else, because like I said, playing those games on Wii U wasn't that much different than playing them on other systems where your friends are already there. Not too much appeal. But over the Switch generation, after they shifted to a true hybrid system model and no longer needed to have two dedicated home console / handheld systems, you know, to develop and release games for, they were able to provide an extremely high amount of quality games over a long period of time that could truly be played anywhere, not just as far as this tablet will take me from my TV screen. And that is exactly when Nintendo was able to effectively raise age demographic of the users on their systems. 150 million units sold, 1.3 billion games at this point. All of those things happening around the same generation, that's something that even the game developers couldn't afford to ignore this time around, right? And we know that because they're literally admitting it in the interviews that we're having with them, right? Members from both Activision and CDPR have made these claims, and they make some of the biggest third-party games in the industry, so it's not for no reason. In this graph, we see that gamers from ages 20 and up make up the largest share of the Switch user base, and that was back in 2021. In 2025, with games like Elden Ring, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Cyberpunk, and others that we know are coming, like AC Shadows, Nintendo's making sure that they bring these games over to the system because they now know for sure that there is a player base to play it. That's why you're seeing these developers go out of their way, like CDPR, to put these massive open world RPGs and open world first person shooters on the platform, because they understand that the demographic now is not what it was 2 generations ago, right? And that makes a whole lot of sense to me. Just another reason why I'm gonna make sure I go out of my way to support these developers when they're coming correct, like CDPR putting the entire Cyberpunk game, DLC and all, on a 64GB cartridge. I will make sure that I show up to support these developers who are going out of their way to give us great games, competent ports, uncompromised as much as it can be within reason, but for the most part without major compromise and sacrifice and change on the Nintendo Switch 2 platform. But what do you guys think about this? Do you feel like the demographic for the Switch 2 and Nintendo's current generation has shifted from what it used to be? Are you picking up the Switch 2, and what kind of games are you picking up for it? Let me know in the comments down below. But thank you guys so much for watching. Appreciate you. I'm gonna catch y'all in the next video. Peace out.